Remember how Christmas felt when we were growing up? The glow of the lights, the smell of cookies in the kitchen, the sound of family filling the house, everything felt warmer, simpler, and full of joy. So today, we're remembering the Christmases we grew up with, and looking back at 20 traditions that were once everywhere, but barely show up anymore. There was something special about those old Christmas catalogs, especially the Sears wish book. The holiday season didn't really begin until that thick book landed on the kitchen table. Every kid grabbed a pencil, circled half the toy section, and dreamed big, even though we knew we'd only get a couple of things. Many of us spent hours lying on the carpet, turning those glossy pages until they were worn thin. Parents used it too, not just for shopping, but for planning the whole holiday. Before websites and pop-up ads, the wish book was our window into Christmas. It wasn't just a catalog, it was pure excitement on paper. Every December, towns would suddenly glow a little brighter when the Coca-Cola Caravans rolled through. Those trucks were covered in lights from bumper to bumper, turning an ordinary street into something that felt almost magical. Children would press their faces to the windows or run outside just to catch a glimpse, hoping the caravan might stop long enough for a wave from Santa. It was simple, it was cheerful, and it made the whole neighborhood feel like Christmas had officially arrived. Growing up, many homes felt incomplete without a little train circling the base of the tree. Children would lie on the floor and watch the cars glide along the track, waiting for the tiny whistle or the soft click of the wheels. Some parents treated these sets, especially the Lionel trains, like treasured heirlooms, unpacking them with the same care as the ornaments. That little train had a way of turning the space under the tree into a world of its own. There was something special about baking Christmas cookies in those days. Kitchens were warm. The whole house smelled like sugar and cinnamon, and every counter was covered with flour. Children carefully pressed cookie cutters into the dough, while adults handled the icing and sprinkles. And once the cookies were cooling, there was always a cup of hot punch or a glass of eggnog nearby. Those homemade treats were more than dessert. They were a moment that brought everyone together. There was nothing quite like an aluminum Christmas tree. That shiny silver glow felt almost futuristic, almost like something from a space-age living room. Many families used a color wheel to shine rotating blue, red, and green light across the branches, turning the whole tree into a glowing display. It was bold, different, and unforgettable. After a Charlie Brown Christmas poked fun at them, the trend faded fast, but that metallic shimmer still lives on in many holiday memories. Using real candles on a Christmas tree may sound risky now, but for some families in the 1960s, it was still part of their holiday tradition. Candles were clipped carefully onto the branches, and the tree was lit only for a few minutes at a time while everyone watched closely. It required caution and a steady hand, but this brief glow created a look that electric lights could not fully copy, which is why a few households continued the practice well into the decade. In many towns, the holiday season truly came alive inside the big department stores. Families would dress up and head downtown, not just to shop, but to experience the holiday displays, puppet shows, and the moment every child waited for, meeting Santa Claus in person. Some stores even hosted full Christmas parties with music and small gifts. The whole atmosphere was cheerful and full of energy, the kind of outing that filled an entire day and left children glowing with excitement all the way home. Those thin metallic strands, often called tinsel icicles, were once a must-have on nearly every Christmas tree. Children would place them one by one, trying to make each piece hang just right so the lights could catch every shimmer. Some families reused the same box year after year, carefully taking the strands off the tree and folding them away. That tiny touch gave the tree a bright, glittering finish that became a signature look of mid-century Christmas. A decorated fireplace once served as the center of the home during Christmas. Stockings were hung along the mantel, often handmade or passed down from earlier years, and Christmas cards were lined up where everyone could see them. Families gathered around the fire on cold evenings, warming up after being outside or finishing the last touches on wrapping gifts. Even for homes without a large tree or elaborate decorations, the fireplace brought everything together and gave the holiday a sense of comfort and routine. Nativity scenes were once a familiar sight both inside the home and out on the front lawn. Families unpacked the same figures every year, placing Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus with care, sometimes adding straw or small lights to make the scenes stand out. Some sets were simple cardboard displays, while others were detailed ceramic pieces passed down through generations. Whether large or small, these displays served as a reminder of the holiday's religious roots and were a central part of many households' Christmas traditions. Walking through a neighborhood in December used to sound completely different. A group of neighbors, classmates, or church friends would bundle up, grab a few songbooks, and head out into the cold to sing from house to house. A door would open, warm light spilling out onto the snow, and families would listen as familiar carols filled the quiet night. Sometimes people handed out cookies or hot cider as a thank you. Moments like that made a whole street feel closer than ever. Downtown stores once turned their front windows into full Christmas scenes that stopped people right in their tracks. Families would bundle up and make a special trip just to see the moving figures, twinkling lights, and tiny winter villages behind the glass. Children pressed their hands against the cold window, trying to take in every small detail. For many, this was the moment that made the whole town feel alive. Those displays created a kind of wonder you rarely find anymore. Before television specials took over the season, Christmas entertainment often started right in the living room. Children turned blankets into costumes, wrapped tinsel around themselves, and performed little plays for parents and grandparents. Some families even made it a yearly tradition, with someone playing Santa, someone playing an elf, and everyone else laughing in the background. It felt simple and homemade, but it filled the house with a kind of magic you could not buy in any store. Back then, gathering around the television for a Christmas special felt like an event all by itself. Families would plan their evening around the broadcast, because if you missed it, that was it until next year. And remember how the room seemed to quiet down the moment the opening music started? Shows like A Charlie Brown Christmas or the classic holiday variety programs brought everyone together in a way that feels almost impossible today. Local Christmas markets used to bring a special kind of charm to December. Small wooden booths were filled with handmade toys, candles, and holiday treats, and the whole place carried the smell of warm spices and fresh-baked goods. Families would stroll from stand to stand, picking out small gifts or simply enjoying the music and chatter. There was always a bit of excitement in the air, sometimes even a little chaos, but it still felt special in a way that's hard to find today. Those trips had a charm of their own, the kind of holiday moment that stayed with you long after the decorations were gone. For many families, the heart of the holiday season was gathered around the table making decorations by hand. Children threaded popcorn into long garlands, folded paper snowflakes, and covered the floor with scraps of colored paper. Parents added their own touches with homemade ornaments and hand-drawn Christmas cards that went up on the walls like little works of art. Those simple projects brought out plenty of creativity and laughter, and they filled each home with a kind of warmth that store-bought decorations could never replace. And remember how a simple snowy hill could keep children busy for hours? Once the first real snowfall came, sleds and toboggans came out of garages, and every neighborhood seemed to have its own favorite slope. Children raced each other down the hill, climbed back up breathless, and did it all again without even feeling the cold. For many families, those afternoons in the snow were just as much a part of Christmas as the tree inside the house. Bubble lights were one of the most eye-catching decorations of the era. Once the tree was lit, tiny tubes filled with liquid would come to life, sending steady streams of bubbles rising upward. Children watched them the way they might watch a snow globe, waiting for each light to warm up and start moving. They came in bright colors and added a playful glow that regular bulbs simply didn't have. A little burst of magic that made the whole tree feel alive. Midnight Mass on Christmas Eve carried a feeling that was hard to match. Families bundled up and headed to church long after dark, finding the pews already filling with neighbors and familiar faces. Candles flickered along the aisles, choirs sang traditional hymns, and the whole service felt calm and reverent. Of course, not every child loved staying up so late or sitting still through the entire Mass. but it remained an important tradition for many families and marked the official start of Christmas Day. Seeing live reindeer during the Christmas season used to be a highlight for many children. Towns and parks would host small holiday events where Santa arrived with real reindeer by his side, drawing big crowds and plenty of excited faces. Some places even offered short visits where families could walk up close, take a picture, or feed them a small treat. Moments like these added a touch of magic to local celebrations and helped make the season feel truly special. Thank you for watching. I would love to hear which of these old Christmas traditions you still think about, or which ones you wish we could bring back. Your memories are a big part of what makes these videos special. And if this brought back a smile or a warm moment, feel free to share the video with someone who would enjoy remembering it too. These stories mean even more when we pass them along.